everyone. Welcome to the V&J Show. I am Vanessa.
And my name is James.
Yes, and we are here to talk to you today. How you doing, James?
I'm doing fine, Vanessa. Vanessa, I'm in the lab of what I would call my pick a side uh, studio, if you want to call it that. And today is a very good day. Uh, Sports are back, and I'm extremely happy for that.
I know you are.
Um, I've been without sports for a very long time. And since March, I've had absolutely nothing. It's been very difficult, but I've learned how to adjust to it. But now that it's back on, so now I'm doing this show right now under duress because in my lab I have two monitors, and one of the monitor is up there, and the other one is up there, and they're on right now. And on one of the monitors, it's showing the Clippers and the Mavericks, and then on the other monitor, it's showing the Dodgers and the Rangers. So, what I'm going to do right now is something that I'm reluctant to doing, but the
Something
show
that
must
you were
go on.
supposed to do before we started the show, correct?
Yes. So I'm going to turn off both of these monitors because I don't want my head to be looking up at them. So this is how dedicated I am to it. So both of the monitors are off now.
Well, that is wonderful. We're going to do this show so you can go right back to what it is that you were watching. But first of all, let me ask you, how was your birthday last week? Somebody had a birthday. Woo-hoo.
Yes, I was
How
very
was it?
fortunate to turn the age that I am right now. And
That's
my
wonderful.
birthday was it was celebrated it was celebrated. And
Wonderful. I'm glad you had a nice birthday.
a lot of people reach out to me and exchange pleasantries regarding my birthday, and I certainly appreciate it.
Good. Well, I saw you went out the other night. I saw you sitting with your nice sunglasses, and I think you had on a hat. But one thing I didn't see. Ask me what?
Yeah, I'm curious as to what you did not see.
I didn't see you with a mask on. Is COVID over? Is COVID gone? Everybody's hanging out at parties. Is COVID over? I didn't even see the little lines from your mask.
COVID is alive and well, and I'm going to talk to you as like I'm talking to my sister Frida. When I take pictures, I take off my mask. I think it's just absolutely nonsense to take a picture on with a mask. I don't like wearing the mask, but I wear them because when I wear my mask, I'm saving somebody's life. And when someone wears their mask, they are saving my life.
True.
So when we combine to do it together, then we are practicing the guidelines of the CDC. And that's what I'm all about, is staying safe, practicing social distancing, and we're even practicing social distancing. I am way out here in the beautiful city of Los Angeles, California.
And I am back on the East Coast where we have 4 seasons, beautiful seasons. We have beautiful snow that is covering every mountain with white caps. It's just beautiful.
That's gorgeous. And let me tell you what we have. We have all 4 seasons as well, because if I want to go to the snow, it's 45 minutes away. If I need to go to the ocean, it's 20 minutes away. If I need to go to the mountains, it's 30 minutes away. So I get it all. I'm in driving distance to it all. But today, it's 75 degrees. It's sunny. It's breezy. Zero humidity. and clear blue skies.
Well,
It is
aren't
beautiful.
you lucky? Because we have the same
Abs-
weather about now. It's beautiful outside. I'm not arguing with
Come
you.
see me in November.
Well, let me tell you, we're not going to talk about East Coast, West Coast stuff today, guys. But we always have this rivalry going between West Coast and East Coast. He thinks the West Coast is better. I used to live there, so I know. Okay, so it's nice. I'll give that to you. No problem.
Hmm.
But you know, when the quakes start, come on. But we're not going to go into that today. But let me ask you this.
Hmm.
Not so much ask you, but let me congratulate you. And if you guys don't know, James is the owner of Pick a Side podcast, and he completed a whole week of the Financial Literacy Week for women.
Hmm.
And if you didn't tune into the show, ladies and gentlemen, you just got to, because there was so much valuable information that was shared, especially the one on credit was good. I even gave it to my girls. I think I told you that because they have so many
Yeah,
questions about that.
yeah.
But there are so many other shows that happened last week, and I want to congratulate you. You're doing a great job.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. That was not easy. That was a lot of hard work because anytime that you do shows, and if you don't have a good knowledge in something, you have to do some research and background for yourself. So I was able to learn a whole lot. The last show that I did about forex, which is a foreign exchange
Mhm.
trading that I did with Deanna Dupree, uh, that show was way out of my comfort zone because I absolutely don't do anything with trading stocks or anything like that. But after doing about a 2 day research of it, now I'm about to dive deep into it as well. So a lot of good came out of last week with the ladies, and I'm hoping that in the nearable future that I'm able to have a week with guys, and I think it's gonna kind of be on men's health. Um, we had two. We had a good brother that
Yes.
we lost. Who meant a lot to our younger generation because he was deemed as a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated to see that the young man in the prime of his life just, he wasn't descending, he was transcending.
It's rising.
And I hate the fact that that young man lost his life, especially for something that is a treatable um, disease.
Disease.
And colon cancer, if it is caught in time, it's definitely something that we can avoid, down the road. So
Yeah.
I hate to see that happen.
Yeah, it is really sad. I had a conversation with someone yesterday, actually, about this particular subject, and we were talking about men and their um, hesitancy to want to go to the doctor. Most men refuse, and they will only go if there's an issue or if they're in pain or suffering some type of ailment and they just can't control it themselves.
Right.
And one of the things that he said, which I found interesting, was he said men don't like to go to those kind of exams because maybe they have been molested or things like that, and they don't like to, for them, someone touching them, because it brings back memories, or they just have a fear. So there's a whole plethora of things as to why they don't go. But then they wait to the end, and then it's too late. So, like you, I agree with you. There needs to
Uh,
be a show. I mean, we push women to get our mammograms. We push to have all kinds of, our annual exams, and we as women actually do it, and we have it on our calendars, and that's something that we do religiously.
yeah.
But I think we need to educate and encourage men to do the same thing as well, because it is just that important.
Well, coming from a man's perspective, and coming from someone who definitely was in that category of the reluctancy of going to the doctor. The examination that is take uh, a mammogram examination and a colonoscopy or prostate examination is way different. Uh, it's a very, 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 very uncomfortable procedure. And I understand why you have men that are reluctant to doing it. It's very interesting what you said. I never, given it a
Thought
thought
about it that way.
from that standpoint. But hey, I could probably understand why there may be some men that don't want to do it because of those issues. So
Yeah.
that's where mental health come in, because sometimes you need to get some counseling to overcome some of those fears.
Definitely, definitely. And I want to also interject too that, we do have exams that are quite, in parts of our bodies, it's intrusive. It's almost like it doesn't feel good. Let me just say that. But we endure it because we know that it's something that we have to do. You know
Right,
what I
right,
mean?
right.
So,
Absolutely.
I think that's something that we need to look at down the line. Maybe adding someone on to the V&J show and have them come on and talk about some of these issues. From a
Yeah,
mental
absolutely. I mean,
health
I
perspective.
have I have several friends who are doctors, um, that are always, hey man, for men it's always make sure that you get your prostate exam, get the
Mm-hmm.
prostate examination.
Mm-hmm.
And for women it's getting the breast mammogram. But then women also have, you got to have there's a big cancer for is it uterus, what's the cancer?
Cervix. Cervix.
Cervix. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
cervix. That's something that's real huge. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's all about maintaining. Just like how I take my car down to get the oil change. Hey, we
Right.
have to do what we got to do to stay up on top of it.
Exactly, because our bodies are our engines, right? We
You're
have to
right.
take care of everything that's in our bodies, even our organs, drinking water and, finding different, sometimes there are so many holistic, treatments that
Yeah.
you can, supplements that you can take instead of taking the prescriptions. Now, I don't, say don't stop taking your prescriptions because sometimes they're needed.
Yeah.
But I really truly believe that some prescriptions, some, not all, are just given to mask a situation. And it doesn't necessarily hit the heart and the core of the problem. And one thing I do want to say is I know we're not even talking about medical on the show, but maybe somebody just needs to hear. Sometimes you have to take your own health in your own hands. You have to do your own research,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And you have
Yep.
to know your body, pay attention to your body, listen
Hmm.
to your body
Yep.
because it's important. Some things that you could eat 10 years ago may change. Your body changes. So your body may not agree with certain foods and certain things that you're putting in your body. So we have to be careful. My mother used to say, take care of your body when you're younger, it will take care of you when you're older.
Yep.
And I believe that because my mother was 92 and she developed lung cancer. I don't understand. She was never a smoker. My father smoked those Camels with no filter, but
Oh wow,
yes,
wow, wow.
yes. Secondhand smoke, was that something that affected her? So I think sometimes we just have to pay attention to our bodies and you know kind of stay on top of our own health. We like the
Yep.
doctors. We agree sometimes, we disagree with them sometimes, so, but we have to do our own homework. We definitely do.
Yep. We are going to take a little small break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about the topic of what we're going to talk about today, which is racial divide. So
Yes.
we're going to take a pause for the cause, and we're going to come right back, and we're going to dive into our theme for today, which is racism, the current divide. We will
Yes,
be
we'll be
right
right back.
back. Mhm.
hope you are enjoying the show so far. But please, in the meantime, make sure you subscribe to the Pick a Side podcast on YouTube and also Nezzy's Place on YouTube. You can catch our podcast on pickaside.org and also at nezzysplace.com. So make sure you connect with us, and we hope to hear from you soon. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the V&J Show.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yes.
So let's dive into it, Miss Vanessa. So let's get back into what we actually came onto the show about.
Well, one thing that was really on my heart was to talk about the racism and the current divide and the state of where we are right now. I mean, I know that we talked about certain things before, but I saw a post that you on Twitter, and it was something that you reposted. I think it was yesterday, and it was a white guy, and he was in his truck. He was cussing out the policeman. I mean, really, just cussing him out and being rude. The policeman had his gun drawn. Now, had that situation be different, had that gentleman be black, I don't think the guy would have gotten away so easily. He would have probably been dead, right? We all know that. So my question is, we're just such in a bad place, right? And where do we go from here? I mean, the protests and everything that's going on right now is starting to look like it's playing to the advantage of the our RNC side, right? Because the anarchists are making us look like dangerous people, right? So you have now the whole conversation is, oh, we're dangerous. And then they're still killing us. So it's just so much going on. And I just wanted to bring everything to the table and just have a quick conversation about it. We're so divided. Is the division coming from 45 over the last 4 years? We have seen it magnified so much in so many different ways. Now it seems like it's almost hitting the tip of the iceberg where it's just out of control. And what do you think about this?
The division is coming from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. When he was elected president, things changed. And I know that you have a lot of supporters with him that feel as though that's not true. However, what he did for the last 4 years, what he has done, he's giving white supremacists and a lot of other people, he's given them the opportunity to really show themselves for who they are. And they feel empowered now.
Mm-hmm.
Like they feel as though, oh, we finally have someone in the White House that understands us and is going to stand behind us. And the thing that really bothers me is that you have people who feel as though they are afraid to speak up. I have quite a few friends, white friends, who are Republicans, and they don't want to have any parts of this current president. But then you have Republicans that are in office that feel like if they say something that it's going to backfire on election day for them in their seats in the Senate as well as in the Congress. However, all this stuff trickles down to what's going on now. You have policemen that feel even more empowered. As the incident that happened with Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin, where you had the shooting, point shot 7 times in the back, up close, which, I don't care that he turned his back on you. I don't care that he didn't comply. That does not give you
the right.
It does not give you the authority, the judge, the jury, to execute a man in his back the way that happened. So Don't come telling me no stuff about he didn't comply and this and that. The police has a duty to perform. It is to protect and to serve
Serve.
our communities. Now, those are all communities, communities of color, urban, suburban, wherever it is, you have that oath that you took. And there's one word that I keep mashing down: de escalate. Learn
Mm,
how to de escalate
escalate.
problems. You do everything within your power before. The last thing that you should ever think about doing
Is
is
pulling that
pulling
gun.
that gun out. That is the
Right.
absolute last thing that you should do, especially when you do not see the
Other
person
person.
pulling a weapon out. If the
Right.
person if it has a weapon out, I understand. But if you cannot visually see a person pulling his or her weapon out, then you need to stand down and try to de-escalate it, even if it causes you to have some type of force that's not deadly force.
Well, you bring up a point talking about de escalation. I'm not sure if you followed this story. It was, I can't remember the actual location, but there were two young boys sitting at the bus stop with skateboards. Okay. They were sitting there minding
Happened
their
out here.
own business and they were harassed by a homeless guy,
Right.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
someone calls. I'm not sure if you saw the video, and we'll definitely link it to the show so everyone else can see it. But I was really frustrated when I saw the cops get out of their car immediately with guns drawn, right? Handguns drawn, rifles drawn at the two young kids. Now, I don't know the outcome of the story. I believe the kids are okay.
Mm-hmm.
But just think about the traumatic experience that this was for those children, for those teenagers.
Well,
You
that happened out here,
know,
up in
what?
Santa Clarita. Yeah, it happened out here.
Okay. And
And so basically, what happened is that I believe that the restaurant owner had
Buffalo
called
Wild Wings.
911 and had reported, uh, what was going on. I think that it's imperative that where it starts at is the 911 operator who is delivering the message to the police officer or whoever. I think that there needs to be
Some
some better
training.
training on that level. And then when it goes to the police officer, he needs to know how to get the kind of facts before they proceed on it. Now,
Right.
let's just think. Let's just say that if those two young teenagers did not have anyone speaking on their behalf,
Yeah.
where would we be at right now? I
Another
mean, yeah, because what I saw one of the officers that had his gun drawn, and the look that was in his eye was close to saying, "Just give me a reason just to
give
shoot
me a
you."
reason.
It just looked like he was just like ready to. I just want to just give me the. There's
Make
an
a move.
adrenaline. I'm a gun owner. There is an adrenaline rush when you have your hand on a gun and you're shooting. When your finger is on the trigger, there's an adrenaline rush that goes through you because you want to fire. When I go to gun range, you want to fire that gun. When that finger is inside where the trigger is, you want to fire. But your training kicks in and you cannot do it. But any kind of movement, it's you're just think about it. We as black people, when I go out, as I went out early this morning, there is a 50-50 chance that I will return home because I don't know if I'm going to run across a police officer that woke up on the wrong side of the bed, that had an argument with his wife or his partner. I don't know what the circumstances are with that officer's children. So when he sees a black person, hey, it's 50-50 that we gonna get out of there alive.
Well, let me ask you this, because we know that racial profiling has been around for a very long time, right? It's not anything new. It's not anything new, but it's just intensified in so many different ways. So you're driving down the street, you're a black man, right? You get pulled over. Tell me a little bit about, does your heart start racing, the thoughts that go to your head? It has changed, from when you were 16, 17 years old, just starting to drive. Things have changed drastically now. So you being pulled over, what does that feel like to you now? And what is your first move?
The first thing, there's different levels to this. My dad had to give me
The
the
talk.
speech, the talk. This is what you're gonna do. Hands on the steering wheel. You will address the officer by no sir and yes sir. Wasn't that many female officers then, so that's what he told me about addressing officers. Nowadays, you address the females the same way. I was also taught that anytime that I'm asked to, if I'm asked for my license, if I have my license in my back pocket, my dad would always tell me, do not drive with your wallet in your back pocket. Well, Dad, why can't I have my wallet in my back pocket? Because if you get pulled over and you reach behind, you can get killed.
Because
Now
they
we're
may
talking about,
think.
yeah, we're talking about having this talk in the early 80s when I started to drive. So I keep my wallet right next to me. I always know where my insurance and my registration is, so I can be able to have it within, a short arm's length. However, when they ask me for my driver's license, I have to tell them, officer, my driver's license is right next to me. With my right hand, sir, is it possible that I can reach and just give you and get my driver's license for you while this hand stays on the steering wheel? Then I have to wait for an answer. You're okay, go ahead and get it. Okay. As I'm getting my wallet, it's like I'm giving him a play by play. Okay, officer, I have my hands on my wallet. I'm getting ready to open my wallet up and I'm going to pull out my driver's license. I had some officers to tell me, knock it off. No, I'm not knocking that off
That's all they
because
need.
I'm trying to stay alive. I'm not going to do anything that's going to upset you to where you have a reason to take me out. So I let them know every step that I'm making, every single step. And it keeps me alive and it keeps my family from having to go through anything, unnecessary. To the flip side of all of this, I'm one of these brothers that is going to comply. However, I will tell you, uh, I don't get like there used to be a time I would just, if I
Panic.
saw a police car up ahead of me, I'll just turn the corner and go a different route because I didn't want to take a chance. And but now I see them now, and I just draw. Hey, listen, I'd be passing them up. It's like y'all can pull me over if you want to. Here, driver's license. Like the whole 9 yards. But when you get older, that you can do that.
Yeah,
To a certain degree.
yeah.
But like my son, like even today, like this day, I never drive with my hat. If I see a police officer, I take my hat off.
Why is
Why
that?
should I have to take my hat off? Because when I have my hat on, it stereotypes us even more of being someone that, is bad.
Right.
So I tell my son all the time, don't give the police any reason to pull you over. Whether there's music being played too loud, try not to wear dark shades, try not to wear a hat, try not to wear a hoodie. These are the talks that I have to give my 30-year-old son.
Right.
I know for a fact that there are not no white males getting this type of talk in their home.
I was getting ready to say that because I don't think that they are. I don't think any white male, if you're listening today, I don't think you go through any of the things that our black men go through. All the steps that you just mentioned, I doubt very seriously if they take those same actions or if their mindset is even even there thinking that they don't think about that. That's not something that they think about. And one thing that you did say about taking off your hat, that is really the current divide, right? Because why should you have to take your hat off because of a stereotype? I understand. I do understand. Me as a black woman, I understand it. Is it right? No. And you also made a point where you said when you told your son, don't do anything that will cause them to stop you. You know what? I hate to say this, but you could be just driving down the street. Your music is not loud, everything's intact, but they just want to stop you. Sometimes, and you already know that where you live in LA, they may just be visiting a friend that lives in a different area. Back to racial profiling. Why are you in this area? And then you start to be questioned, right? So there is a current divide. Will the current divide ever be gapped where it's no division?
Well, I hope, Vanessa, that in my lifetime, I hope that I get a chance to see it, and I hope that I'm not so old that I'm too old to where I can't feel it.
Right,
I want to be able to feel it. I want to be able to have the same type of feeling uh that white people have, which is to know that, hey, if they ask me something, there's no fear. There's always going to be some fear as a black man, with the police. You just, and I think personally that police officers like to pull you over uh, if you have a date in the car.
mm,
I think that they like, and I think that they get off on embarrassing you and bringing you down to a level of nothing. Uh, I will never, ever understand for the life of me that when I am pulled over by the police, what is it your business that I have to answer you to say when
where
you
you
ask
coming
me
from?
where you going or where
Or
you
where you
coming
coming
from?
from?
That is absolutely none of your business. It is a freak. I can go wherever I want to go, but
Yes,
you should not have to be trying to dictate to me as to where I am supposed to be going. I
right.
have a big, big problem with that. I have a huge problem with when I'm at, because it's almost like, you're saying to me, I am beneath you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you tell me what you're doing over here, boy.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I'm just like,
1967, 60, all the 60s.
yeah, and this stuff is stuff that my dad went through. And one thing about the younger generation now, they not having it. You're
Mm-hmm.
not going to talk to them in the same tone that you may have talked to us because they don't have no fear of the police.
Right, right.
You have a whole lot of them that don't care about living and they just be like, whatever, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So, who do you think is causing the most violence right now? And the most, I mean, you see a lot of the hurtful actions or the hateful, sorry, hurtful
Hmm.
and hateful and hurtful actions, right?
Hmm.
You see the racial slurs and the outbursts all over
Hmm.
the internet. You see the mockery, like if something happened, there were so many young kids, white kids, making a mockery out of the George Floyd killing. And that was a joke. You see all these things. So
Yeah.
And then they try to say that we're the dangerous ones. We're the ones causing the most disturbances. We're the ones that are, causing the most the riots. Okay, yeah, we know the riots, but once again, I still think people are put in place to magnify those. And who do you think is causing the most violence right now? Again, racial violence. Let me.
I think right now that I think that Trump has empowered so many different groups right now. And I think those groups, when stuff like what happened to Blake happened, you know, there's a a bell whistle that Trump has. Like this morning, he tweeted 3 words:
What?
law and order. That's a bail. That's a like a cat call
Right.
to
Mhm.
his group.
It's a subliminal message. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. That's saying, hey, we don't get. Let's get with it. Those people in Kenosha, Wisconsin, they had citizens out there. That young cat, 17 years old,
Yes.
he brought his gun out there. He couldn't wait for the opportunity to use it.
And you know that they don't live in Wisconsin. They
That's what
actually,
I'm saying. He was from
right,
Illinois.
right. And his mother purchased the gun, right? But the ironic thing of it all is that he's walking past, and we've seen the video. He's walking past the cops, right? They didn't even
Yeah,
stop him.
no,
He's walking with his hands up.
hands up
And he
and
went
a
home.
gun.
And a gun and went home. Now,
Yeah,
ask yourself, and those of you who are watching, had he been black, what would have happened to that young man doing the same thing? Oh, they would
okay.
have shot him down. Come on
They
now.
would have shot him. They would have shot him. He would not be living. So all of you cops out there, you can try to tell me something differently about no, no, no. If
We all
y'all
know.
saw a black man with that type of weapon, we would be slaughtered like animals because the first thing would come to your mind is not that this is a gun carrying state. The first
Right.
thing that come to your mind is that he's black and he's about to shoot us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what comes through you guys' mind.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you feel that way? All
Yeah.
black people are not thugs. All black people are not trying to create problems.
Right.
There's more black people that are trying to do things to better their lives,
To
and take
live.
care of their families.
Exactly.
We have
Exactly.
worked all of our lives.
Yes.
And I hate to say this to you guys, we built America. It wasn't the
Yeah.
Indians, it wasn't Hispanics, it was black folks. We built this country, and
Amen.
we still to this day have not been paid for it.
Yes.
Now, I don't know who gets off on working for free. I don't get off on working for free.
No
If
one
I
does.
work, I want to be paid. We
Exactly.
have not been paid. So please stop trying to tell me and other black people, well, that happened way back then. You know what? The blood that runs through my veins, the blood that runs through your veins, Vanessa, is from some of our parents and
Yes,
foreparents
that's
that
right.
worked out there, helped building this country. Now, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
trying to sound militant or anything like that because I'm really not.
But it's
But
the
if
truth.
you just really want to get to the nitty gritty of it, there are reasons why you are light skinned, and there are reasons why I'm the skin that I am. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We went through pure hell
Yes.
when we were brought over here to this country. We went through hell. We went through embarrassing moments.
Mm-hmm.
Our wives were taken away from us.
Our children were sold.
Our children were sold. We were beat. We were hung. We were raped in front of our families by slave owners. Our
Yes.
manhood was taken away from us. Now, does it give us an excuse to act out some of the things that we do. No,
No.
it doesn't. No, it doesn't. However, do not sweep under the rug what has happened to us. 400 years ago, yes, it was a very long time. And when the history books repeat itself, they're going to be like somebody, maybe 200 years from now is going to be like, oh, that stuff in 2020 happened. It happened on somebody's watch, and it happened to African Americans. I'm an African American, you're African American, and I it upsets me that we have not. And I don't want to hear no stuff about, well, you guys are here in this country, you guys seem to be doing well. Anyway, don't get
Systemic racism still exists. We may be appear to be doing well, but when we see all the things that are happening right now in the world and how it affects us, we know that systemic racism, while it may not affect each one of us on a daily basis, if it happens to someone that's representative of my race, it happens to me. And I can tell you that, and I know that we're winding down with our show, but I do have to get this out. I was sitting watching TV the other day and I was watching the news. I did say that I wasn't going to watch the news every single day, but I have been on top of it watching it because I am so inquisitive as to what's going on, right? And I don't want to be in the dark about anything. And when I saw what was going on with the Jacob Blake story, all the feelings came back. All the emotions hit me, and all I could do was cry because I said, here we are again. Here
mm-hmm.
we are again going through the same thing all over again. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that we have black on black crime. I know that's something, and we have to communicate somehow to our own brothers and sisters. Rise up, educate yourself, stop, stop sagging. Come on, women, rise up, black kings and queens and princes and princesses. Come on, be who you were designed to be. You have a purpose, you have a calling. Do what you're supposed to be doing. Get off the street. Stop selling drugs because that's what they want you to do. That you're playing into their hands when you continually do the opposite of what you were designed to do. But that's another big program that has to be pushed out to really educate our youth, because those young kids are looking at us, those young kids are looking at their mothers, and you know what? We have to start speaking into each other's lives. My brothers and my sisters, we have to wake up because we are not the dangerous people that they are calling us to be. They're making us seem like we're so bad,
Well,
right?
we are labeled because of the things that we do
Right.
to ourselves.
To our
And in our inner cities across United States, we have gang violence, we have prostitution,
mm-hmm.
we just have we're in low income neighborhoods. Are the education that we're receiving is porous.
Poor.
We just don't get all the things that other communities get.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it and I understand it.
Right.
However, the police want us to kill each other.
Yeah, it's part of the
All
plan.
that, you got Rudy Giuliani, whatever his name is, up in New York, that, pretty much was like, hey, they gonna kill each other anyway.
Right.
Our value to America is what's going on TV right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sports. We entertain like no other. No, we can entertain you like no other race in sports, movies, things of this nature. We are entertainers. We can dance. I interviewed my son the other day on one of my shows, and one of his buddies told him, "We tired of tap dancing for you.
And we've been tap dancing for a long time.
We've been tap dancing for 400 years, and it's time that the taps are taken off of our shoes. We are no longer going to be tap dancing and entertaining you all in the manner that we've been doing.
Right.
We have brains. We can think. We are engineers. We are accountants. We are lawyers. We are doctors.
Doctors.
We are ITs. We do so many things with this right here.
Right.
And the thing about it is that when we are taught to do something, we excel at it.
At it.
God has given us a gift that once you can teach something to us, we can thrive and excel at it.
Mm-hmm.
I will put my women of color up against anybody because there's a resilience that you all have that we don't have. And, I just, like I said, hopefully in my lifetime, before I get to the place where I can't remember nothing no more, or I just can't do, I hope that while my brain is active and still going strong, that I can see change. I believe that it will happen, but I want to see it while I am here. I ain't going to be one of these, as long as my grandchildren. No, I want to see it myself.
I
I
want
want
to
to be
see it now too. I definitely want to see it.
right.
Well, I know we have to wrap up, and I hate to go because I love doing our show. We just have such a wonderful time just chatting about different things that's going on, and so engaging to me,
Right.
And I hope that people really understand where we're coming from.
Yeah.
So I have
Yeah.
a last question for you.
Sure.
What would you say to a white person or racist? What would you tell them if they were looking into the camera right now? What would you say to them?
I need you to look me in my face and answer this question. What have I done to you? Why is it that you do not like me? What have I done so bad to you that you and so many others want to just wipe us off the
The face
face
of
of
the earth.
this planet? That's the question that I would ask any racist that I ran across. That is the question that I would ask the United States of America's president.
Yes,
What have I done to you?
exactly. Well, I'm just going to ditto that because that would be my question as well. And I also would like to interject this too, because sometimes you can't change people and they're going to be just the way they are. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I know for sure is that because they hate me, I still live. I still rise. I still excel. I don't lose any sleep. I still love. I still do whatever I want to do. So your hate, you can keep that. I'm still
Yeah.
going to do me. I'm going to live and I'm going to have a beautiful life. However, I do ditto your question. Why do you hate us so much? Well, hey, that's it for us. But I do want to say, I know that I have so much to say, don't I, today?
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
forget, we both want to remind you guys to vote. Go to vote.org. Make sure you vote. Find out everything you need to know about your registration. If you're registered, if you're not registered, stay on top of everything because your poll place may be closed. So you want to make sure vote to get all your updated information. And one last thing, I know you have something to say, James, close us out. But I do want to say this. If you're interested in knowing of all the people who got killed or murdered because Black people, you can definitely Google know their names on Google and you will see a website. It'll come up and they'll have a description of everything, how they were killed, what they were doing. Very interesting to look at. So definitely vote and take a look at that website.
Couldn't have said it better myself. You definitely have to vote, but I want to add a little piece to that. I want to encourage all Black people, go directly to the polls and vote. Do not do a mail ballot. Go to the polls. If you're in New York or on the East Coast, if it's snowing, take one for the team and go. If you got to sit in it, whatever. If we're out here on the West Coast and if it's 95 degrees, hey, you got to take one for the team that day. Something different has to take place on November the 3rd around midnight of that night.
Yes.
We have to change the administration.
Yes, we
Now,
do.
and we want to remove all doubt. So just go to the polls. I love what the NBA players are doing out here in Los Angeles. The Staples Center is going to be opened up for people to go vote. The
Wow.
forum is going to be opened up. So these young black players, along with the NBA owners, and I want to applaud them because they've made it easy for people to go vote because
That's
they're going to be in large
amazing.
venues. So you can't talk about, you don't social distance and all that. So, in all these cities across America where there's NBA teams at, these owners have been opening up the arenas in Atlanta, Phillips Arena, where the Atlanta Hawks play at. That arena is going to be open to vote. Excuse me. So you have, there's no excuses why you cannot vote.
Exactly. And young people, like he said, make sure you go vote because if this is your first time voting, please do not sit in that bedroom and say, oh, my vote doesn't count. Yes, it does. Every vote counts. That's good.
Yes, it does.
I agree with
Well,
that.
listen, we got to close up because as I'm looking on my battery level, our battery's getting low. But hey, listen, I want to just leave you guys with this thing right here. Michelle Obama says this one thing, and I want to repeat after her. When they go low, you always make sure you go high.
That's right.
So some of you guys may say, man, I'm tired of going high. Just keep going high. Because at some point, it's going to pay off. If you go lower than what they've gone, you will never be able to achieve what needs to be achieved. So always stay high, always stay up at the top, because guess what? When you're at the top, you can always pull somebody up there with you.
That's right.
All right. So anyway, she is who?
I'm Vanessa.
And I'm James, and you have watched another episode of the V and J Show. And so we'll see you next time. So stay safe, keep your social distance, wear your mask.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.